Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So today has been interesting with regards to the bombshell story. Democrats have been backpedaling and dancing, saying, wait, there's more context. There's more context to this. There's more context. Peter Dow has been making an ass of himself, trying to show and point to each and anything that he could show to say, hey, wait, there's more context. There's more context. I don't know how much more context you can get, dude. Ultimately, somebody who was head of the DNC came out and said they rigged it in the book that she was hawking. Now, I agree with you. She made herself look blameless. She was like, I am an angel. I was a hapless soldier. I wandered in here. I screamed, oh my God. They have cocaine and gambling in this establishment. That guy's over there getting a blowjob. I didn't know. Officer, I had no idea. I had no idea. I didn't know. I was here yesterday and this place was spotless. I didn't know. I'm Donna Brazile. Now, Donna Brazile pretty much threw Obama, Deborah Wasserman-Schultz, and she stuck a shiv in Hillary Clinton like nobody's business. Hillary Clinton's like, what happened? And Donna Brazile was like, I will tell you exactly what happened. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with you fucks. So that's what took place yesterday. Today is backpedaling. Fair enough, it's backpedaling. Yesterday was a lot of vindication. It was a lot of chest thumping from leftists and progressives screaming, yeah, I told you this was true. Now, the only reason we're screaming, I told you this was true, because there's this guttural level or gut level of vindication. Of, we knew it, we saw it, you lied for a year, and you finally came clean. So yes, there's this emotional energy that's expended when something like that comes up. But now we're getting into more of the politics of it. And what I mean by the politics of it is Hillary Clinton may have somewhat of a problem here. And I got to be honest, if I was a prosecutor, it would be an immense problem. Let's start with Donald Trump here, because I actually agree with Donald Trump on this. So, the rigged Democratic primary, one of the biggest political stories in years, got zero coverage on fake news network TV last night. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. He's right, by the way. He's perfectly, absolutely right, by the way. Let's keep going. I always felt I would be running and winning against Bernie Sanders, not tricking Hillary without cheating. I was right. I gotta be honest, man. I have a slight confession. Donald Trump's tweets are comically funny. Now, I don't know if he's intentionally trying to make these things funny or not, but they're funny. And because they're funny, they endear the tweets to me, if that makes sense. It's like you read the tweets and you can't get mad at the tweets because there's a certain craftsmanship to it. It's like he wills Twitter better than any other president in history, if that makes sense. And I know it was only like a few presidents where Twitter was there, but he wills Twitter like a goddamn samurai sword. I always felt I would be running and winning against Bernie Sanders. He's kicking both. He's kicking Hillary harder, but he's kicking both. I always thought Donald Trump, would be beating the hell out of Bernie Sanders. Not beating the hell out of Hillary Clinton. I love the tweet. Not crooked Hillary without cheating. I was right. Meaning I wasn't wrong. Donald Trump, I was right about this. If they hadn't cheated Bernie Sanders, that would be the case. Now, keep in mind, Donald Trump is trying to sow division here. He's essentially trying to stir the pot and endear himself to progressives on this. Now, if it was me, actually, no. He's chest thumping. It's more comical than anything else. Let's keep going, because there's more. And by the way, he would have lost to Sanders. Just make that point clear. He was getting the stuffing beat out of him by Sanders. You had a ton of people who voted for Donald Trump because they had nobody else to vote for. But they would have voted for Bernie Sanders if Sanders was in that race. So Trump is full of it. Let's see. Where's this one? There's another one. Pocahontas just stated the Democrats, led by the legendary cricket Hillary Clinton, rigged the primaries. Let's go Justice Department and FBI. Let's take a look at that one again. Pocahontas just stated, he's talking about Elizabeth Warren, by the way, just stated that Democrats, led by the legendary cricket Hillary Clinton, rigged the primaries. Let's go FBI and Justice Department. Now, Democrats can rig their primaries. They're a corporation. They can do whatever they want. Like they said, they can choose whoever they want in a smoke-filled room. But there is one thing that supersedes what goes on within the Democratic Party, and that's law. Actual law. For all intents and purposes, Democrats can be a corporation all they want. They're still bound by federal law. Now, what I mean by this is that the amount of money that Hillary Clinton was taking in these campaign donations goes well beyond the $2,700 she was supposed to be able to take. Now, if the testimony of Donna Brazile is to be believed, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. Counterpunch came out with the exact same article almost like 6-7 months ago. Then she broke campaign finance laws. How on earth is this not breaking campaign finance laws and doing so in a way that's overt and over the top? And like I said, it was noted months ago. I want to read this piece because this is the point. Meaning, whatever you want to say about, they can obfuscate all they want about the whole rig thing and everything else. This has nothing to do with rigging, if that makes sense. This has nothing to do with how you want to shape the way the politics looks of it. This is somewhat of a flat fact. You're supposed to not be able to take more than $2,700 as a candidate from a person. Here's your check for $2,700. Thank you very much. Now, the reason they do that is because they don't want undue influence by the person who's giving the money. If I'm giving you $20 million and somebody else is only giving you $2,700, well, it seems like I have a certain amount of influence, because next time you go into an election, you're going to want that money again, meaning you're probably going to lean my way in order to make sure you get that cash again. If I give you $20 million and the next time it comes around that either your party or you need that money and you've done something that adversely affected my interest, guess what? You're not getting the money. And I'm probably going to give the money to your opponent so he can attack you and take you off that office. The point of the $2,700 is so cash wouldn't be an undue influence on the candidate itself. The law assumes that the candidate does not have superhuman integrity, and in this case, the law is right. Now, people can get around that through these super PACs and everything else, but I'm just talking about, for right now, this thing of, I have cash, I am giving you money as a candidate. The amount of money I can give you is $2,700. We have a problem. Or at the very least, Hillary Clinton has a problem. According to Donna Brazile, Hillary Clinton had essentially taken control of the DNC. The money that was coming into the DNC was essentially routed to Brooklyn's office, meaning it was routed to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, in many of these cases, took the overwhelming majority of the money, and sometimes going up to 98% of the cash. She was leaving the parties, state parties, cash-strapped. So you're a person, you say, hey, I want to give to Hillary Clinton. All right, well, look, give me a $2,700 check. Thank you for the $2,700 check. Now, you can give $3,200, I'm sorry, $320,000 to essentially the DNC and state parties, because there's a certain amount that you can give to each of the state parties. But the point where you're running the state parties and the money itself is being funneled into Brooklyn, meaning being laundered, goes into the state parties, and then from the state parties it goes to Brooklyn for Hillary Clinton to use as Hillary Clinton will, and she's taking 98%, then it's not $2,700 anymore. If you're a person, you gave $320,000 and Hillary Clinton is getting 98% of that money, that's a hell of a lot more than $2,700. Now, you can make a case that, well, wait a minute, it went to the state parties first. That's just money laundering. Where did it end up? Who did it end up with? And not just who did it end up with, who did it end up with before the nomination was even won? This was taking place before the nomination was even won. It's breaking campaign finance laws. Even in the piece that Donna Brazile came out with, the rig thing, Robbie Mook makes this point of, you're accusing us of breaking the law. You're accusing us of breaking the law. Because Bernie Sanders was complaining that they were cheating and they were taking more money than they were supposed to be getting in. Bernie Sanders was right. Progressives was right. Counterpunch, when it wrote that article, was right. Politico was right. All of these sources, when it came out, was absolutely correct. Donna Brazile comes out with it. How on earth Is this not breaking campaign finance laws? And if this slides, then what's the point of campaign finance laws? They become almost irrelevant just by virtue of people being able to break them in this particular way. It's amazing. It's amazing. The point I'm making here is that if you're going to have campaign finance laws, then you need to have campaign finance laws. And I understand we have an immensely poor system already in regards to the way that money changes hands in regards to politics. But come on. Come on. This is overt. This is in your face. And at this point, this is a national conversation about, oh my God, they were taking huge amounts of cash. And let's hear Donna Brazile tip. Don't take my word for it. She's talking to the finance guy at the thing. Gary, how did they do this without me knowing? Say, took out a $2 million loan because the DNC was in desperate poverty. They couldn't raise any money. Gary, how did they do this without me knowing? I asked. I don't know how Debbie relates to the officers, Gary said. He described the party as fully under the control of the Hillary's campaign, which seemed to confirm the suspicions of the Bernie camp. The campaign had the DNC on life support, giving it money every month to meet its basic expenses, while the campaign was using the party as a fundraising clearinghouse. I understand what she's saying. In fact, I'll just read it. Under FEC law, an individual can contribute a maximum of $2,700 directly to the presidential campaign, but the limits are much higher for contributions to state parties and parties' national committees. Individuals who have maxed out their $2,700 contribution limit to the campaign could write an additional check to $353,400 to Hillary's victory fund. That figure represented $10,000 to each of the 32 state parties who were part of the victory fund agreement, $320,000 and a $33,400 to the DNC. The money will be deposited to states first and transferred to the DNC shortly after that. Money in the battleground states usually stay with the states, but all other states funnel that money directly to the DNC, which quickly transferred to Brooklyn. Donna Brazile has just implicated Hillary Clinton in skirting campaign finance laws. Now, in the piece, Donna Brazile says, not against the law. It's not against the law, my ass. You've just stuck a knife in Hillary Clinton, saying that she was taking more money than the $2,700 by laundering it through the state parties. This is not me. This is Brazile herself. Donna Brazile can come back later saying it's not against the law. It's not against the law, my ass. You stuck a knife in her. Don't try to put a Band-Aid on it. Don't try to put a Band-Aid on it. And let me continue, because she continues. Wait, I said. That victory fund was supposed to be for whoever was the nominee and the state party races. You're telling me that Hillary has been controlling it since before she got the nomination? Shocked and chagrined. She's shocked. She's shocked. Gary said the campaign had to do it or the party would collapse. She had about a short and curlies. Hillary Clinton. She's like, ugh. How you about a curlies? Better do what I say or I'll rip it out. That was the deal Robbie struck with Debbie, he explained, referring to the campaign manager, Robbie Mook. It was to sustain the DNC. We sent the party nearly $20 million from September until the convention and more to prepare for the election. What's the burn rate, Gary? I asked. How much money do we need every month to fund the party? The burn rate was $3.5 million and $4 million a month, he said. I gasped. I had a pretty good sense of DNC operations after having served as the interim chair for 5 years earlier. But then the monthly expenses were half that. What had happened? The party chair usually shrinks the staff between presidential election campaigns, but Debbie had chosen not to do that. She had struck lots of consultants on the DNC payroll, and Obama's consultants had been financed by the DNC too. They were essentially funneling money. They were giving money to consultants. It was a racket. I mean, I call it a racket because essentially they were wasting money. Debbie was the person in charge of the expenses. Hillary Clinton was out there making loans that was unbeknownst to anybody else, or borrowing money unbeknownst to anybody else, and she had them by the short and curlies, meaning she was titrating them cash. The money that was supposed to be going to the state parties was essentially going to Hillary Clinton. That's what I'm getting at. $2,700, state law, was law. That's law. The Democratic Party, and just to summarize, The Democratic Party may be a corporation, meaning they can choose whoever they want in a back alley. They can say, hey, we're going to pluck this guy out of a hat and this guy's going to be it. They can cheat who they want to cheat in primaries because ultimately they're a corporation. However, campaign finance laws has nothing to do with the DNC. That's law. Think of it as the DNC, law. Law. For all intents and purposes, it is the word of God. And if Hillary Clinton is taking $2,700, there's no issue. However, if you're routing money, if you're laundering money, and the money is ending up in the Brooklyn headquarters, then you're taking more than $2,700. The issue that Hillary Clinton is going to have in this is this breaks campaign finance laws. And it's not me saying, it's not Bernie Sanders saying, it's not Counterpunch saying, it's not Political saying, it's the person who is head of the DNC saying it. Like I said, she gives this fig leaf later on of, oh, well, it's not against the law, but it looks unethical. Question. Is the limit $2,700, yes or no? And is that limit there to prevent people from having undue influence, yes or no? If DNC operations, meaning the cash, is being funneled directly to the candidate, does it matter that it goes through state parties first if it's still ending up in the pocket of the candidate? I have a $2,700 limit. You give $100,000 to Bob. Bob gives $100,000 to Tim, and Tim gives $100,000 back to me. This takes place all throughout the United States. And when somebody says, wait a minute, it looks like you're taking more money than you're supposed to get, I say, hey, no, that's not true. I took the $2,700 and that was the limit that I took. But you're funneling the money through other sources in order to get that. You're a dirty liar. Well, she's not a dirty liar. It's right here. Down Brazil has stuck a knife in you. I don't understand how that's not against the law. That's all. I don't understand how the FEC gives that a pass. That's all. If you're going to have a law in this case, and you're going to have that law in the books, and that law means anything, and somebody flagrantly broke the law on a presidential level with regards to the amount of money that they're taking in, then what's the point of the law if you're not going to do anything about it? You put people in prison for less. You put people in prison. You could stop somebody in New York walking to their job that just so happen to have a joint in their pocket, and that alcoholic cop can take that guy to jail for a joint. Hillary Clinton can break campaign finance laws in the open, flagrantly break campaign finance laws in the open. It's not even a goddamn secret. And people are mum. People are mum. The President of the United States has been hobbled into just screaming for the Justice Department to do something, as if he's not the President of the United States. It's awesome. I'll leave it at that. Again, this one kind of went long, and I'm not sure why it went long. I think I was beating a dead horse at some point. I will leave it at that. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks guys.